beats.
Alright, good evening everyone and welcome to a lovely Sunday evening. We're just about to get underway with RLPC Roundup coming on. I think we weren't able to do it last week, but we are able to do it this week. I am your host, Toasty, and we will be going through all the leagues. And when I mean all of them. We have the Major League, we have the Minor League, and we have the Independent League coming on. For those of you that do not know, the Independence last week is coming up starting Tuesday. The last 4 games will be going on, and their playoffs will be coming up very, very shortly. So we're going to be going over their stats as well. And at the end of everything, we'll be looking at the leaderboards on who do we think will be taking over the playoff spots and who will have maybe a chance at a wildcard slot. And we're going to be taking a look at those throughout tonight. And then coming up at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the Helix versus Frosty game. Going to be one heck of a game tonight. So hopefully you guys are able to stick around and join us later on for this evening as well. So considering I'm the only one here right now, let's go ahead and jump right into it. I want to be trying to give it to you as much information as possible. But considering I'm the only one here and I'm not an all-knowing being, I can't say what, I'm not very smart. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first round here. We're going to be looking at the major leagues with the goals per game starting off real early. Going to be seeing we got first, second, third, fourth, and fifth place up. I'm going to bring up the roster so I can at least know who teams on who, because I at least looked at the stats earlier on. And get this set up. Alright. So, we're going to look and see who has these first place. We have James Omelet at first place, Jax in second, Trev in third, Toast at fourth, and X in fifth. Coming to goals per game, James Omelet has 1.70 goals per game, Jax has 1.48, Trev 1.48 as well. They are technically tied for second. Toast 1.24, and X 1.22. This is a little bit more knowledgeable with who's on who here. We know that X and Trev are part of Eden on this team here. James Omelet is... Scroll. Man, I wish I had known who's on who. Man, I'm not that knowledgeable. James Omelet is part of O2, so he's leading the league with goals per game, which is amazing. And then Jax is on... I just saw his name. Jax is on Abyss. Alright. Man, I wish I was known. So with that being said, a lot of these guys have been making... I've actually seen all these guys at least play 3 times, knowing that all 3 of these guys can make goals and are very well leading their own respective teams and being the designated striker for their teams. Trev and X both continue trade in and out with each other on Eden. I've seen them play multiple times, so I know they love, as Eden as a whole is more of a offensive team in general, so they attack almost consistently. With Toast, Jackson, James Omelette, all three of these guys lead their own respective teams in being the striker for each of them. So that being said, we can move on to the minor league team. So with that, we have our minor league team coming up. We have Kachan in first place. We have Matcham in second, McDirty in third, Blue Mars 2 in fourth, Hot Spots in fifth, Kachan at 1.55, Matcham at 1.37, McDirty 1.23, Blue Mars 1.22, Hot Spots 1.18. Two of Snowman's team on here. I can just know, I've been around the Frosty organization a lot more than most of these other guys. Just the way I just know these people. Blue Mars and Matcham both really hard strikers, especially with Galapagos able to give the passing assists to both these guys. Abe Mars, a really good striker. Matcham, a great striker in his own right as well. Kachan, 1.55, leading the league though. It's a dominating lead too. Matcham not that far behind, but Kachan has a solid lead in this. Kachan is doing a great job. Heard a lot of good things about him. Always being a great striker for his team, and always receiving these passes as well. McDirty, 1.23, doing a great job for maps. Actually seen him play. He has actually pulled off a couple of great shots, great dirty shots, pun intended. And then Hotspots, I think I've seen him play once, and nothing that like strung out in that particular game that I saw. But from a lot of people that I talked to as well, Hotspots has been doing a great job for his team this season as well. So that being said, we can now move on to the Independent League for the first time of this stream week to see what the Independent League has been doing. We have It's Aloof for your first place, Bender Escobar in second place, Oh Wow Panda in third, XL is in fourth, and yours truly is in fifth. We have It's Aloof with 1.20 goals per game, Bender Escobar 82 at 1.11, and Oh Wow Panda is tied with Escobar at 1.11 as well. XL is at 1.09, and I am at 1.07. It's Aloof, I've actually played against him. I've played against all these guys actually. They are really great strikers. It's really hard to defend against these guys. They know where to put the ball. They have great placement skills. It's Aloof has been really has been doing amazing work with his team. Proud of him. Escobar has been making a lot of goals. I'm actually surprised it's 1.11. I actually think he scored a lot more, but it is what it is on the stats sheet. Oh Wow Panda, great score for his team as well, 1.11. XL has been doing great. Not going to be talking about myself because I'm not stroking my ego on this one. So, we're going to be going on with that. Independent's been doing really well. Our last season's coming in this week, so playoffs coming up shortly, and we will be streaming the Independent League's games. Most likely I will not be the streamer as I'm playing, so I can't really stream and cast while I play. I mean, I have to be a really amazing person for that. But all these guys are doing amazing jobs for goals per game, and amazing strikers for coming up from all these guys all together. With that being said, we can now move into assists per game. We'll start with the major leagues again. Coming in with the major leagues, we have Zach in first place, Bits in second, Swag Giraffe in third, Slimy in fourth, and Clam Hammer in fifth. Zach with 1.18, Bits at 0.97. Tied with Bits is Swag Giraffe at 0.97 as well. Slimy 0.90 and Clam Hammer at 0.87. Zach from, I think it's Eden. Yeah, I'm going really off the top of my head right now because I don't have all these guys' memories and I feel really bad for that. I know Slimy's on Dragon Acid Gaming. I don't know Clam Hammer, Swag. I think Valiant? No, I don't. We'll go on with that. I've seen all these guys play. I recognize all these names, even though I don't know the exact teams that they play on. I know all these guys, and I've seen them play multiple times. Zach, amazing. Zach and Swag stand out as they make amazing passes. I've seen Bits twice with his passes is solid. Nothing like fancy with Bits. Bits is more of a mechanical sound guy, and he can actually make these passes well. Slimy and Space Kitten are a great pair with these guys on Dragon Acid Gaming. Slime is able to make the pass for Space Kitten Teddy as well is able to make these passes as well, but Teddy's more of a all-around kind of guy. Is not like high over one, is more of a jack of all trades, able to be there, be a more reliable player for Slimy and Space Kitten. Slimy is more of your playmaker kind of guy, Space Kitten is more of your striker. Clam Hammer, 0.87, really close behind Slimy. Clam's been doing a lot of good jobs for his team. If I'm right, he just recently joined. Not too sure. I think I've seen Clam Hammer once, maybe twice, if my memory serves right. I know he does great passing as well. Nothing super fancy, more mechanically sound. All these guys are really great players all around. When I move on to the minor league. Alright, so coming up for minors for the leaderboard, there we go. We have Galapagos in first place. We have Katchan in second, Fossilized in third, McDirty in fourth, and R Bears in fifth. As we can see, we see one guy from Snowman on this one as well, so we get a lot of the other guys to show their stuff as well. Galapagos at 1.13, solid lead above everyone else. Galapagos doing amazing work for Snowman, one of the leading factors behind Snowman's great victories here. Able to get these passes off the Blue Mars and match them. Able to get all the goals for them for the strikers to be able to get all these goals that they've had. As you will see them coming into the future minor leagues leaderboards that, almost all of them are on all the leaderboards. Galapagos has been doing amazing work for his team. Katchan as well. Even you saw, I think earlier before, he was first in goals per game. He's a great passer as well. He's been carrying his team really amazingly throughout the season. Fossilized in third, and it's a big jump after that from 1.0 to 0.83. Fossilized doing great work for his team as well. I think they're in playoff contention as well. McDirty 0.80, close behind Fossilized, and Bears falling up close behind. It's a very close between third through fifth. Haven't seen any of these. I haven't seen third through fifth play, as I'm more of your major league streamer. So unfortunately, I can't really say much about these guys. Though, just seeing from the stats as this, it's amazing to see of how competitive the minor league is with all of this. There's not like between first and second. There's not like a very clear winner. Any of these guys can get ahead in the future on. Can't wait to see what's coming up in the last 2 weeks of both the majors and minor leagues. So we'll go ahead and go into the Indie League. So that we had the Indie League coming up, we have Toon in first place, Lies OG in second place, Mental Gorilla in third, Josh RL in fourth, and Jester in fifth. We have Toon at 0.82, Lies in 0.72, Mental Gorilla in 0.70. Josh RL 0.60, and Jester at 0.67 as well. Very, very heated competitive environment here with the Indie League, as we have a lot of these people pretty close in. With that, not a lot of people passing though. It's more of big goals coming in from goals and saves usually, but the passing plays are getting better as I've been playing more and more with the Indie League as well. More of the people are starting to pass more, and it's getting more competitive. It's not really a big jump as we see with the majors and minors, but the Indie League is doing a great job with the passing. Toon has been doing amazing jobs. Played against him. He is really known for his pass plays and is able to help his team out a lot. Like great. I've seen Jester play against them. Plays against all these guys. Mental Gorilla is a great passer as well. Lies, very mechanically sound. Josh, mechanically sound as well. Jester, Mental, and Toon, first, third, and fifth, respectively, do really fancy passing plays, and you have to be on the lookout for these guys whenever you go up against them. Alright, that being said, we can now move into the saves per game. We'll start with the major leagues once again. Major leagues for saves per game, we have Dagan in first place, Pure Spongy in second, Lut Vera in third, DTR in fourth, and Slice is in fifth. We have Dagan at 1.89, tied with Pure Spongy as well, 1.89, Lut Vera at 1.83, DTR 1.78, and Slice 1.73. These are your walls of each of their respective teams. You cannot get them by, like, almost 90% of the time, you're not going to get the ball by them at all. These are your solid guys. They will always make the saves. they'll always make these 90 saves that you don't realize that's going to happen. We've seen all of these guys make amazing saves throughout the many streams that we've done with each of these teams, and it is what a sight it is to see them as they as you see most of the spotlight goes into your strikers or some of your beautiful, like, the fancy passes, but we don't really see much of the spotlight's not much of on the defenders, the goalies, the ones that, you know, stay back and stay in net. But these guys are your ones that are just the unsung heroes of each of these teams, and they are doing amazing work for their teams, and I think all of these guys are going to the playoffs, have a chance at playoffs. So that will now go into the minor league. We have the Mr. Horsey in first place. We have McDirty in second. Blacksky BL in third. Kachan in fourth. Edwin 1-5 coming in fifth. We have Mr. Horsey at 2.05. McDirty 1.83. Blacksky BL at 1.62. Kachan 1.59. And Edwin at 1.58. So, taking a look at this, we have Mr. Horsey being a solid wall. Great, like, just is in clear first place for your saves per game. McDirty, Blasky, Kachan, and Edwin. Pretty spaced out, besides Kachan and Edwin. I've seen, I think, 2 of these guys play in the minor leagues. As said before, sadly, I'm more of the major league streamers. In our minor league streamer, we don't have a solidified minor league streamer, but we are about to have that is soon to be announced. We're going to see where that goes from there, and we'll be sure to give you more information on that. But looking at all these guys, Mr. Horsey's bit is just a solid wall in the goal. 2.05, a clear winner for this, and just a solid defender. You see his play style. Kachan in fourth has been in all over the leaderboards for the goals and assists. Been carrying his team. Sure as I can't really say what about his other team, nor do I know who's on this team. I'm sad to say that as well. But McDirty, Blasky, and Edwin, I've seen all these guys play as well, and I've actually played with a few of these as well. They are really solid players. McDirty, a really solid defender as well. Blasky, great guy at being defended, very mechanically sound, and Edwin struggles a little bit here and there, but when he is on, Edwin can save almost anything that comes shot in his way when he is on point. It is amazing to watch all these guys play. Alright, now moving to the ND stats. We have Kickass 69 in first place. We have Game OBR in second. Killer is in third. XL's in fourth. Insomnia Wolf in fifth. Playing against all these guys, I know how hard. Kickass is at 1.50. Game OBR and Killer are tied at 1.45. XL really close behind him at 1.44, and Insomnia Wolf at 1.40. There's no clear winner here yet. Anything can happen within this last week here as we go into the final week of the Indie series, of the Indie League, actually, excuse me. All these guys, I played against all of them, and they are really hard to get the ball by on them. Kickass 69 solid wall. Game OBR, all these are really solid walls. I can't really say enough about these guys. People that really stand out to me, I played against Killer twice, Insomnia Wolf I played against once, all of them once. But these guys are really hard to get the ball by on them. They're just solid defenders. Great passers as well. I can't say that enough. They are all great passers as well. They're able to clear the ball well. And it's a great challenge to play against these guys each time I'm able to play against them. So can't say enough about them. So now we'll head into the bragging rights of this. We have the points per game coming up. We have both the majors, minors, and indies coming up. So, ladies and gentlemen, bragging rights, here we go. Majors, we have Trev in first place, James Omelette in second place, Zach in third, Swag Giraffe in fourth, and X in fifth place. Trev with a 2.35, James Omelette 2.09, Zach 2.05, Swag 2.03, X 2.02. Trev, a clear winner for this one, coming in first place at 2.35. Beautiful score coming from that. We have James, Zach, Swag, and X very closely contended 7 points between the second and fifth place. I mean, 0.07 points between second and fifth place. Anything can happen within these last 2 weeks. X can make a jump for it. James can get a jump as well. We'll see coming in these next 2 weeks. But congratulations to Trev for having a clear first place coming in the last 2 weeks of this season. Alright, here we go. The minor league. We have Kachan in first place, Galapagos in second place, we have McDirty in third, Blue Mars 2 in fourth, Hotspots in fifth place, Kachan at 2.55, Galapagos 2.16, McDirty 2.03, Blue Mars 2 at 1.98, Hotspots 1.90. More spaced out with the minor league team. Kachan, though, a very dominating fashion, legitimately carrying his team. He's been on the leaderboards throughout this whole stream for the minor league. Kachan rightly deserves the 2.55. Galapagos coming up right behind, doing amazing work being the playmaker for his team, being able to set the goals up for Snowman. 2.16. McDirty coming in at 2.03. Blue Mars 2 from Snowman as well, 1.98. And here, the third through fifth can get close. It can change at any point. But Kachan, congratulations on having first place with a 2.55. Alright, and that will now go into the ND League for the final portion of, as we round out the stream. Round table before we head over to the leaderboards. We have ND League with Toon in first place, Lizo G in second, XL in third, Bender Escobar 8 in fourth, and Mental Gorilla in fifth. Toon with 1.74, Lies with 1.72, XL 1.70, Bender 1.69, Mental at 1.63. Very close competitive here. 11.11 points between all these five teams here. Five players here. Anything can happen within this last week, legitimately, and anything could change with this as well. Mental can make a jump up for Bender, or someone from the bottom, from like 6th through 10th, can make a jump, carrying their team. So we'll see what happens coming up with the final week of Independence. And with that, we'll now move on to the leaderboards. I have a black screen because these can't be fitted through the entire screen, so we'll go through one by one. We'll start off with the Major League teams. We have, it's just screenshot from 40 minutes ago. So the most recent change to the leaderboards is updated and all that fun stuff. We have Eden taking a clear first place at 20-2. Illusion coming by close to second from the Titanium division. Helix from Rocket leads their division, and Frosty from Boost division is leading theirs. O2 and Monsters take seconds for their respective Polar and Rocket divisions. Fatal Strikers from Titanium takes their second place, and Boost division is taking Bedtime Z Sports is taking Boost division second place currently. There's still 2 weeks left. There's still 8 games left in this season. So anything can happen here. Eden having a clear first place win here, unless they decide to lose all 8 of their next games. But to be honest, and seeing how Eden's been playing so far, it's going to be a very difficult thing to happen. Storm has a solid. Well, I think Dragon Acid Gaming has a solid chance coming in for the wildcard spot. Storm has a chance if they're able to win the next 2 weeks. But they're going to have to hope that Dragon Acid Gaming doesn't really do so well coming in these next 2 weeks. Aerial Aces, Evolution, and Wildcats are in a close contention for the wildcard slot for the Polar and Rocket conference area here. Anything can happen. They are very tight contention here. Dragon Acid Gaming, Ambush, Storm, and Anarchy, and Bedtime. Anything can happen with that. For the Boost division, though, second place team, Storm and Anarchy, can take away Bedtime Z Sports shot at this as we go into the next division games coming up very shortly. So anything can happen with any of these guys here. So we'll see what happens with that. Now we go into the minor league. We have Pinnacle and Snowman. Snowman being the clear first place for the entire league this entire time. Pinnacle just losing out to Snowmen just this past week. Just a very close game overall. Pinnacle just unable to get above Snowmen. Snowmen will lead it off. Hydra from Chrome Division takes their first place. Toon Squad from Steel Division takes first place. Pinnacle, as we said before, Cosmic Division will take first place. Meme Squad has a very commanding second place position for the Cosmic Division. Century in a very tight competition with Orbit and Azimuth, as they're both 10 and 12. Quantum Theory taking second, but is very contested with Elusive, who's also at 14 and 8. Anything can happen with those 2 weeks. And then we have Canon Esports having a very solid second place holding here between Royal. Going to have to step up their game if they're going to be able to get a chance there for the wildcard spot. However, they might have a shot against Elusive, but they need to be winning these next 8 games in order to have a shot. For Cosmic and Steel divisions respectively, Orbit, Azimuth are really fighting for this wildcard slot if Century is able to maintain their winning streak. Stage 4 may have a shot. They need to be able to win the next 8 games in order to have a shot. Have a chance at getting to the wildcard slot. Snowman's biggest contenders in this would be the Orbit and Undertow, but as we see from the sets itself, Undertow sadly may not have enough to get to a playoffs, as Snowman's only defeats were from Orbit and Undertow. Orbit may have a chance, so if Orbit is able to get into playoff contention, it could spell trouble for Snowman, as you know, Snowman did lose to them, so anything could happen coming up into the playoffs. And with that being said, we can now move into the final standings of the week. We have the Independent League standings, very highly contested coming into this. And if I'm right, I think it's 3 teams from each conference that gets into the playoffs. Please correct me if I am wrong on that. Not fully sure. I think it's the top 3 teams from each. We have Genning leading the league at 14 and 4. Following close behind is Genesis at 13 and 5, and then tied in third right now is Semi-Intentional and Barnstormers, who leads the Quartz Conference so far. Barnstormers so far have the first lead, but is very highly contested with High Volume and Octane Airlines. Barnstormers did defeat Octane Airlines this past Thursday. They will be playing High Volume coming in this last week, along with Motion, Eyes on Fire. All of these 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these teams are in solid contention for 4 games coming up to possibly take the first place side, but we're going to have to find out how the last season is going to go. But for the Granite Conference, the first 3 teams are basically set up. We have Genning, Genesis, Semi-Intentional having a solid lead behind iCup at 9 and 9, Ace of Spades 8 and 10. Any of these 3 teams really have to screw up this last week in order to really, get themselves out of playoff contention. Though I don't see that happening anytime short. All these teams really are solid contenders. Alpha's K2, both 9 and 9, could take third place at any point. But it's 4 games. Anything can happen. So we're just going to see what happens with that. And Genning, I think, might go through the whole thing with championship, 8 and 2 in their conference, followed by Genesis at 7 and 3. Barnstormers 6 and 4. Lots of 6 and 4s from the Quartz League. Barnstormers, High Volume, Octane Airlines, Motion, and Eyes on Fire both have all have 6 and 4 records against their conference. So I don't know if this conference is just really competitive or it's just more of, second rate to Granite. But all things said, it will come to a head after this week when the playoffs begin for Independent League. And with that being said, the RLPC round up is now, over. So we have the Helix and Frosty game coming up in 10 minutes. So we'll keep the stream running for those 10 minutes. Get everything set up for this game, and we'll be back very shortly after 10 minutes. Make sure you stay in thank you for joining me tonight for the roundup. As again, I am your host, Toasty. I run the main channel streams almost all the time really now. So thank you guys for coming out and on a Sunday evening of all.